Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. And today we're going to talk about politics. I'm going to answer your questions that you sent in. You can post these questions on my community page when I put a call out for them. Now, if you will subscribe and comment every once in a while on a video, what I post on my community page will actually show up on your feed, on the actual personalized YouTube feed that you see when you open YouTube. That's how YouTube knows what to show you. They're always guessing, right? They're always trying to say, gosh, maybe they would be interested in this or that. They create this sort of algorithm based on what you watch and what you comment on and what you're subscribed to and what you like. So if you would like to know about these questions, just subscribe, like the video, and comment every once in a while. And you should see the call for the questions pop up on in your personalized YouTube feed. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to get right to it. As usual, you guys know I get right down to business. And if you're just new joining me today, I'm a channel. I channel my spirit guides, and I have a crack team of political spirit guides that I've asked to join me, and they're the ones that answer these questions. If I get something wrong, it could be that I've misinterpreted it, although I have to say they've been pretty much on fire lately. But if you think that something I'm saying is wrong or you don't agree with it, what do we all know to do? Call 1-800-SPIRIT-GUIDES. Press 1 for complaints. Because it's not me. I have nothing to do with this. Susan has a completely different set of opinions that you guys never get to hear. But let's get cracking, you guys. My first question is from Deborah Clark, and Deborah, thank you for your question, says, does the former guy still have documents squirreled away, and will they be discovered? Yes. I did talk about this in part 1. I'll check in with the energy right now, today, which is the 31st of August. Right. Remember, they're telling me, remember, I don't remember actually what I just said. When I'm channeling, I don't remember what I just said 3 sentences ago. So they have to remind me. But they're reminding me that in the last video, we talked about how he's given some of these documents to somebody and they're blackmailing him with these documents. Now, again, if you're an attorney or have anything to do with the law, the court, law enforcement, or anything at all like that, please just insert allegedly in front of everything that I say. And also, this is for entertainment purposes only. So I get this energy that he's being blackmailed. There's a lot of things I can't say these days. There's a lot more eyes on us political, psychic predictors than there were ever before. And I would just say that he's being blackmailed by a foreign country, and this foreign country is really in the news these days for things that they're doing with other countries. And it's not black, it is blackmail. I mean, I'm trying to say it's not blackmail, and they're showing me, I'm like, that's blackmail. Hello, that's blackmail. Wow. Okay, well, so yes, okay, we've talked about this before. You and I, we've had this conversation before, and that is that 45 is not reliable. He's not a trustworthy source or a trustworthy person, in the sense that he'll turn you in, flip you over, sell you out, if it, and as most people would, not most people, okay, I'm trying to make this sound better so I don't get in trouble legally, but I would just say, I feel that 45 might sell you out if he needed to avoid some unpleasant consequences of his actions. So this is like a rat's nest, like what I'm seeing. Like, I mean, even before, even a couple of years ago, everybody had something on somebody else. And that's checkmate, right? This is how we keep everybody from everybody in check. This is what they're showing me happens a lot in the Republican Party. It's like, if you want to join this party, if you want us to support you, then you have to give us something on you, because this is how we all make sure that none of us are going to flip on the other. It's checkmate. It's basically a group checkmate. So that was before. Okay, now that's kind of been blown up because, well, the FBI and the CIA have gotten in there and discovered things, and people have flipped. Okay. His family has flipped, his friends, his colleagues, his employees. I'm telling you, the dishwasher at Mar-a-Lago has flipped, okay? Everybody has flipped. And it's actually made the job of the FBI really hard because they have too many sources. They have too many sources, and they have to make sense of it all, right? I mean, when you have 100 people giving you a story, now you've got to corroborate every story, compare it, contrast it, back it up, make it make sense, and connect the dots, right? And of course, if you're a dishwasher at Mar-a-Lago and you're a security guard, you saw two different things. You also see them from two different viewpoints, so the FBI has to make sense of that, right? It's like they're showing me one of those 2,000-piece puzzles, 2,000 pieces. And the FBI is like, who's got the corner? I don't know what this is. They're all looking for that one piece to make sense of that picture. So it's actually made it harder on them that they've got too much evidence, too many sources. What were we even talking about? Okay, so how did I get there, Deborah? How did I get there from your question? The guides. I mean, they start showing me things, and then I start telling you guys, and then 7 minutes have passed. Blackmail. Thank you, for Christ's sake. Okay, thank you. At least they help me. At least they tell me what I was talking about. That's helpful. So blackmail, yes. It's not for money. It's for coverage. The word is coverage, which I think covering something. And will this be discovered? Yes, this is going to be discovered because, to be honest with you, the DOJ knows about all of this. And I'm telling you guys, you heard it here first. I think at least one FBI agent, if not 2 or 3, are going to retire next year and just write books based on the things that they can write about, or get it ghost written. They're telling me they'll probably get it ghost written and be anonymous, right? Because this stuff is like blockbuster movie stuff that you just, and the guides have said this many times. They said not double-crossed, not triple-crossed, quadruple-crossed. I mean, where's our math majors? Where do we get up into 10 crosses and 20 crosses, right? The double-crossed is double-crossed, to the nth degree. That's why, again, it's so difficult for the FBI to figure all this out. So now you understand, yes, he had them squirreled away. He gave them to somebody for safekeeping. They sold them to another country. That country is now holding them over 45's head because that country doesn't need to get in any more trouble. Hopefully that answers your question, Deborah. This is how it goes down here. I'm channeling. They show me things. It's interesting. I think you might want to know about it. I look a little bit more, and then I tell you what I find. And that's how we get from one simple question all the way around the world in 8 minutes. Okay, thank you for your question. Pamela says, Pamela Kasanovich says, I would love to know if your guides see Maxwell Frost will win in November. He's the 25-year-old running for Val Deming's seat in Florida's 10th congressional district. He's amazing. Okay, I'm getting an impression that you might not like this answer, but I would say that it's early, number one. The guides we can only tell you what's happening right now. Only in some cases is the energy set in stone. And those are very few cases, okay? So in this case, the energy isn't set in stone. Maxwell Frost. He's got a really good chance. I don't know that he wins, but he's got a really, really good chance. It's close. He goes through some things between now and then. Like, I think he drops in the polls. I think he gains momentum. He may drop in the polls just before the race and actually win. And that would be, the reason for that would be that blue wave I keep talking about, that nobody's polling, right? That nobody knows where to find these people. We've already had upsets in New York where even the Dems said, we're going to lose this by 3 points or whatever, and the Dem won. So you just get used to that we don't know. When I say we, I mean the pollsters, and for Christ's sakes, for sure, the press do not know. They have no idea this is coming. You and I know because we're hooked up to somebody that knows more than we do. He's got a really good chance. But you know what else I like, Pamela? Even more, I mean, it would be great, right? If he got in this seat, it would be great. But I see this kid going on to some big things, okay? So if he does not win that race, he's not going away. He's got senators sort of written all over him. He's got possibly mayor. I mean, he's got a political career ahead of him, a pretty bright political career. So he's not going anywhere. We'll just continue to send him love and light and lift him up, okay? It's because it's not easy. What he's doing is not easy. It's taken a lot out of him, but if he doesn't win, and it's going to be close. It's a race I would bet on. Let's put it that way. If I were a betting person, I would bet on him for sure. Thank you for your question. Tiffany Delicio says, will conservatives and progressives ever stop sensationalizing and see eye to eye? Well, this is that rift that has been created, okay? You know, back when Biden was in a rep, when he was back in his career 20 years ago, it was much more common for us to walk across the aisle. This has been created by the conservatives. I don't think it's been created by the progressives. Now, the progressives are, they want what they want. The conservatives want what they want. But the conservatives are the ones that are really pushing the narrative that we are separate, that the progressives are bad. And will we ever get to this? Yeah, we have to. If I ask your question a little bit differently, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I'm going to say 6 to 8 years. 6 to 8 years. Thank you for your question, Tiffany. And Firefly says, will Katie Hobbs, Democrat, or Kerry Lake, Republican, win the governor race in Arizona? Well, here's the thing, right? So as I go into that energy, to be honest with you, the Republicans obviously want a Republican to win, but they're not a fan of Kerry Lake at all. The Republicans are going to hold their nose, so to speak, and vote for Katie Hobbs. They have to. They're not fans of Kerry Lake. There's the party line, but there's no substance. There's no voters. There's no voters under the party line banner. They're going to secretly vote for Katie Hobbs. So right now, I see Katie Hobbs winning. And I actually think she's going to be really good for Arizona. And I think that she might usher in a time of, again, what the previous question asked about. When are we going to sort of make amends and figure out we have to have some compromises. So, right, I think Katie Hobbs is that person who she's going to get in there, and she's not going to forsake her Republican, opponents or her Republican constituents, because she is going to be the governor of the whole state. So I think she's actually going to, you know what they're saying? These Democratic governors, and I'm thinking just now of the Democratic governor of Kentucky, who just got a big battery deal. In part one, someone asked about these car batteries because cars are going electric. And it was just announced that Kentucky got a great big plant for building batteries. So what they're telling me is these new Democratic governors that are coming in, which there will be, and these existing Democratic governors are going to be the ones that sort of, they're telling me they're the grown-ups in the room. They're the ones that are going to say, no, we're not going to vilify the Republicans. We're not going to separate us. They're going to bring us together. The governors are going to lead the way. And I just saw, apropos of nothing, I guess, except for governors and leading the way, Charlie Crist. So that means that there's energy around Charlie Crist taking over the governorship of Florida. And that's a good thing. We like to hear that. I mean, that energy is a little bit wonky. Sometimes he's up, sometimes he's a little down. But right now he feels good. It feels like something has changed in his energy in just a few days since that last video. And this is what happens. Energy is not static, right? Sometimes we wake up, we're in a good mood. Sometimes we wake up and we're a bear, right? That's energy. So sometimes these candidates are riding a wave, and sometimes they kind of drop a little bit. It's not set in stone, but if the energy is up high enough for long enough, then that pretty much tells me that they've got what it takes to make it. If their energy is constantly going up like this and down like that, it means that they're not stable. It means that the race is not something that you can count on, okay? Jewel of the Tarot, hello, says, wondering about Mnuchin, Zinke, is it Zink or Zinke, Rick Perry, DeVos, and other department appointees. I just want to take a big sigh because those are all some people that I just don't have any respect for. And here I'm being very careful with my words. Rick Perry was our governor in Texas. So I know all about Mr. Perry. Will they be gone after, also in a way that they will be indicted for the crimes? Allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, I think Mnuchin has got something coming for him. He's got something coming for him. There's energy around his name. When I look at his name, I see a lot of energy around his name. I wouldn't want to be Mnuchin. I wouldn't want to be him right now or in 6 months. I'm going to give that 6 months. I feel like there might be an indictment coming for Mnuchin. Okay, Zink, I don't know who that is. Zinky, how are you, Zinky? Ooh, I don't want to go on that energy. Golly, why did I do that? Jesus. Wow. Don't go. Take it from me. Do not go into that energy. Just don't do it. Okay. I don't even want to look at his name now. That was so bad. I don't know who that person is. I don't even know if it's a man or a woman. God dog it. See what happens? That's my light going off. I mean, what are you trying to tell me when you do that? You know? Shine the light. I can't do this video like this. It's like looking into a Klieg light, like a stadium light. So I'm going to pause this video and fix that light, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm saying that shine the light, but I don't know. Shine the light on Zinky. Don't do it again, y'all. Come on. Okay. Listen, let me excuse me for just a minute. Y'all, hello. Yeah, you. Talk to me in here, I'm already talking to my guides. You have your people contact my people and talk to me. Don't be burning my eyeballs out. Oh, that's my dad. Oh, Dad. Dang. I just figured that out. That's my dad. Really, Dad? All right. You got something to say about Zinky? Then bring it up in the air. Don't be talking to me. Sorry, y'all. This is for real. This is my life for real. No kidding, you guys. I am not kidding. Y'all know this is for real. Okay. You got something to say? Okay. All right. Okay, I got you. All right. My dad is telling me to be careful, so I'm going to be careful. All right. I told you that energy was skanky. All right. I'm going to skip. On the game show when they're like, skip, I'm skipping. Okay, I'm going on to Mr. Rick Perry. Yes, well, Rick Perry has, he's another one, y'all. He's very slick. He can maneuver his way through, some problems. He's got a lot of friends, well-placed friends. Oh my gosh. I don't even like looking at this stuff, y'all. Because now when I said friends, I saw the Cheneys, and then I saw, y'all, if this man ends up back in politics again, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I know I got some people watching from other countries. Will y'all please sponsor me? Please. I can't do it. Okay. Rick Perry's going to try to squeam his way back around. I don't see anything big happening to him. Maybe a fine. Maybe he's very protected, you guys. That's all I can say about it. I'm not saying he hasn't done nothing. I ain't saying he has done something. I'm saying that he's very protected. And I don't think that he's going to pay if he did do something. Okay, DeVos, I have a special place in my heart for that woman. It's a very dark place. She's too rich. I mean, again, you guys are not going to like what I'm going to say. She's too rich. She's never going to pay. This woman is rich beyond. This is Rockefeller, or this is, I hate to say this. I really, really hate to say this, but she's untouchable. That's what they're telling me. Makes me mad. Oh, it makes me mad. But I can't, Susan can't come in. If I get emotional, then I lose my connection to the guides. So, I need to clear that. Okay. That great question. Let me know what you get, Jewel. You pull your tarot cards, girl, and let me know what you get. Especially on that Zinky guy. Be careful. Okay. My beautiful orb friends. That's cool. Says, will the new Secret Service director help to uncover a ton of corruption in the Secret Service? Again, probably not going to want to hear this. It's not in our best interest for our enemies to see that our Secret Service was infiltrated. So this will all be done sort of behind closed doors and under wraps. The new Secret Service director wishes to do this in a sensitive. They're telling me it's sensitive. No, they're not. They are going to uncover a ton of corruption. Yes. Will it be public? No. But they will clean it out. I will say this. The Secret Service is going to get a rebrand, and it's going to get a retraining, and they're going to become better and bigger and more resourceful and less I can't understand. I mean, I can understand, but I don't understand how to say it. Like cliquish, tribal. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be more flexible. Right now, it's so like tribal that they protect each other and not the president, right? So that's going to be broken apart, and it's going to be more flexible, and they're going to get much more training in new technology that is like new, really high-tech technology, facial recognition, but bigger than that, eye scanners, way bigger. They're going to be super high-tech after this new director gets in, which is good. And they're going to be, they're just going to not be so tribal, not so easily infiltrated, and then everybody has to cover, right? That's the problem, right? Like, so if one person goes rotten, everybody comes around that person and protects them. And that's not good. So they're going to break all that apart. It's good. It's good. It's a good thing. But they're going to get rid of quite a lot of people. They might get rid of 20% of that, 20% of those people. Well, you know, and those people are not to be, I mean, they're not really to be trusted. Those people they get rid of course, they're going to go work in law enforcement someplace, or to DeVos's brothers for hire, right? Oh yeah, for hire. So they may go to work for other countries, but that's okay, because what we're about to teach our new Secret Service force is going to be like cutting edge. So those guys or women can go work for whoever they want to. They're not getting the new training. So it's not really a threat to us. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Eric M says, can I see if the Dem Senate candidate in Missouri may create an upset and win that race? Yes, I see that. I do see that. Yeah. I mean, it really might be an upset. It might be that, again, the polls are going to be wrong. So you guys just know this, but it could be like a nail biter right up to the end, and then they win. Yeah, I do see that. There is something up, and I'm going to tell you this much. If this Dem in Missouri doesn't win, then something is up. That's how much energy there is around this person. If they don't win, something is up. Something pulled the rug out from under them. And I don't mean in a fair way, okay? Thank you for your question. Christine says, I saw a clip of John Fetterman on CNN. That was the first time he was out giving a speech since his stroke. He was having some trouble talking, slurring his words, said incorrect words. Will that stop him from being elected? Will his speech improve soon? I hate to see Dr. Oz as a senator. No, I don't see Dr. Oz as a senator. I think Fetterman is going to get it because people love an underdog, and he's an underdog now. I mean, he's got heart. People love that he's genuine, that you can see, you know, he's transparent. Look, any guy that would get up there and do his best to talk after a stroke and still try to represent people, that's really going to resonate with people, especially because there are so many Americans and so many, you know, people in that state that have health problems that are at the mercy of the healthcare industry, or the healthcare insurance industry, which is not treating them well, they're not, you know, they see themselves in him. Yeah, I don't think it's going to stop him. Right now, I don't see that happening. Now, if he had a better opponent, yes, but Dr. Oz is just not a good opponent. He's not. I think Fetterman is going to win. I still think Fetterman is going to win. Now, it's early, but right now that's what it feels like. Thank you for your question. Janie Cutlass says, will Trump's threats to Garland and others be dealt with? I like it. I feel like I want to put on boxing gloves and deal with it. Oh, maybe that's just me. Okay, so yes and no. Yes and no. No, in the sense that, no. I mean, listen, this man stole hundreds of pages of top secret documents and had them in his, in his bedroom and everywhere else, took them with him when he traveled overseas to visit other countries, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. And we can't arrest him on that, then threats are not really a thing. So, no, it's not going to be dealt with. How we're going to deal with these threats is we're going to have a blue wave, and we're just going to keep saying that because it's going to happen. We're going to have a blue wave, and these kids are going to get into our Senate and our especially our House of Representatives, and then we're going to start passing legislation. And maybe we're even going to have a supermajority, and we're going to be able to actually put an amendment into the Constitution or change an amendment so that we put some teeth in this stuff, so that we legislate, that we make law, civility, that we make it law that you cannot incite violence without some sort of repercussion. So that's how we're going to deal with that. And we are going to deal with that. You want to know why? Because we have to. To get through this, we have to deal with these things. And the only way to deal with it is passing laws like the Fairness Doctrine back in the day that was sunsetted under Reagan, like so many other things. We're going to start putting teeth in this kind of inciting violence, and it's going to become law. So we will deal with it, but just not right now. But thank you so much, Janie, and I appreciate your sentiment. Beverly S says, who paid for Ivana's gold casket? Did TFG get the gold from Fort Knox? Fort Knox is located in Kentucky. Y'all, I don't think that casket is gold. I don't even think it's gold foil from a candy bar wrapper. Because let's have some real talk here. Okay, 45. And I don't even think I have to say allegedly, because I think this has been proven in a court of law that he doesn't pay his bills. The man doesn't pay his bills. Where did he get the gold? Why would he give her a gold casket and implant her in a golf course? It doesn't make any sense, you guys. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. This man wouldn't even care if she was put in a pine box. I'm telling you guys. Okay? Even if the Saudis gave him for free a gold casket, 3 months later, he'd be digging that thing up to pay his legal bills, melting it down in the basement of Mar-a-Lago to pay his legal bills. It's not gold. I don't believe it's gold. Is it gold? It's gold color. It's gold color is what they just said. Color's gold. Yes, it is gold. The color is gold. Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry. I just don't think it's gold at all. Another thing, it's buried in the back 40 of the golf course. If it was gold, every Tom, Dick, and Harry would be out there trying to dig that. This is Florida, y'all. Everybody would be digging that thing up, trying to get that and take it to the pawn shop. Poor Ivana. She ain't in there anyway. Anyway, I love that question. Thank you, Beverly. I know we try to believe stuff, but the guides are saying it's not gold. And I'm sorry if I don't mean to, I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of Trump. telling people it's a gold casket, and that's why it's so heavy. I don't know. It's crazy. We are in a crazy land, aren't we? Absolutely crazy. He'd have to have guards there 24/7 to keep that thing in the ground. People dig up bodies for gold teeth. I'm telling you. Crazy land. We are in crazy land. Okay, thank you so much, Beverly. Soul Artist says, who will win and be the next Wisconsin governor this November? Democratic incumbent Tony Evers, or, oh, I guess he pronounces his name Evers, or Trump endorsed Tim Michaels? Wisconsin. Well, they did just tell me Wisconsin's going blue, but that doesn't mean the governorship. So I need to go back and ask them, does that include the governor? I mean, it's good news to hear that Wisconsin's going blue. We like that. And the reason I'm asking again is because they didn't tell me. They didn't say Tony Evers is going to win. You know what I mean? They kind of changed the subject on me and said, Wisconsin's going blue. Like, you know, so that's, you have to read between the lines of what the guides say and what they don't say. Okay? That, in my opinion, because there's a lot more there than what they say sometimes. Right now, it's contested. The energy suggests that this race is contested. It's not clear that Tony is going to win. I'm sorry to say that. There's some shenanigans going on right now. There's some, I'm seeing advertisements or mailers. I'm seeing a personal attack on Tony. I'm seeing muddying of the waters. I'm seeing untruths. I'm seeing there's something that makes the voters confused. This is closer to the election. Right now, I can't tell you. I don't know. Something happens to Tony's reputation. Either he makes a misstep, or he makes a tiny misstep and they make hay with that. They blow that out of proportion, because right now it looks like Tony could be a little bit weak. Now, he's got some time between now and then to really pull it together and launch a very concerted, strategic counter attack. If he doesn't do that, it doesn't bode well for him. And I don't know, something is going on with this campaign. Something is going on. Something is either going on, well, something is going on right now that might not be public, but it's going to become public, that there's either infighting, infiltration into his campaign. Something has happened to his campaign that makes him not stable, and it could be hard. It could cost him the election. Now, there's an opportunity for him to get it together, but I can't tell you if he will. He has free will. He has to make some hard decisions. I think there's something going on in his campaign. He's going to have to make some hard decisions about letting some people go, and he's going to have to make some hard decisions on how to make up all that lost ground. So it's not a slam dunk. I hate to say that. I really do. But they did give us the good news that it looks like Wisconsin overall goes much more blue than it is right now. Thank you for your question, Soul Artist. Robin E. says, will the people of Belarus rise up and fight back against Putin? Will they get rid of their leader, Lukashenko, a Putin ally? Okay, so there is a group of people, there is a contingent of Belarus citizens that are currently fighting, that are sort of like an insurgency against Lukashenko. But you know what's interesting? There's something more interesting than that. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Overall, I think that the citizens of Belarus don't support Lukashenko, okay? But I would say right now, 60 to even 70% of them are too afraid to do anything different. They're too afraid of what could happen to them to really make their views known, okay? But what's interesting is something happens outside of the country. There's another, it looks like another country from the EU or either from the EU or another country in Europe comes to Belarus and says, look, we can make you a lot of money. You have something we need. We want to work with you, but you're going to have to cut ties to this, despot, to this guy, Putin. If you'll cut ties to Putin, we're not going to say anything about your human rights. We're not going to say anything about the fact that you're an authoritarian, not, duly elected leader. We're just talking money here. Let's make a deal. But our only stipulation is that you get rid of him. Now that actually helps Lukashenko, because Lukashenko is, well, first of all, it allows Lukashenko to be a leader on par with Putin instead of being Putin's puppet. So if he can make this deal and make this money, then he sees himself. Now, whether it's true or not, up for debate, but he will see himself as, I'm a big man. I got, and then he's going to go to his people and like, look at this money I made for us. So it really appeals to his ego. And I think this is around either oil or energy or a resource. It's a resource that Belarus has that, and they don't have a lot of it. I don't feel like they have a lot of this resource, but they have enough that given the current situation, it's worth more, and it's worth more to this country or this group of countries. So there's really potential around Belarus breaking away from Putin in a completely different way than an internal power struggle. Now, if that happens, because there's some things, right? I mean, if Lukashenko agrees to this, he could be at risk, right? I mean, his health could be at risk because he's made Putin mad. So there's some things that make this something that Lukashenko has to really think about, but the man's got ego for days, so I think he would be willing to do it. So I think there's really a possibility here that we may see in the next couple of months some kind of deal with Lukashenko. Now, people might say, oh, Putin is in on this deal, but I don't think so. I mean, Putin might say he's in on it just because he needs to save face, right? I mean, he needs to look like Lukashenko didn't step out on his own. So you may hear a story, but the truth of the matter is the energy that I'm seeing suggests that Lukashenko is courting some people, some countries, some deals. Let's just put it that way. Thank you for your question, Robin. But I will say that I think Belarus, along with Russia, I see both of those countries turning more quasi-democratic, maybe more socialist democratic in the next 8 years. Okay, so I do see both of those countries kind of heading back to a little bit more centered, and reaping the benefits of that, because then Europe will then pour money back into those countries. Okay, thank you. Igor C says, hi from Australia. Hi, Igor. Tomorrow, it's probably in the future for you. Was wondering, will any of the shenanigans revealed lately by our former prime minister come back to bite him in any way? Yeah, yes, the answer is yes, Igor. I have said, or the guides have said in the past, I see protest in Australia. I see people in the streets. I see lots of protest. I think it's summer for you, so it might be this winter. It might be in the next 3 months that I see these protests. I feel like the people of Australia are just sort of tired of missed opportunities. They're showing me missed opportunities. I don't know if you guys feel like there were some trade deals that didn't go your way, or if specifically when I see these people protesting, it's about working conditions, it's about wages, and it's also about women's rights, rights of indigenous peoples, and also the environment. So that's a lot of different groups that are all together in the streets together, okay? And I think that, yes, your former prime minister will continue to experience some repercussions, okay? I hope that answers your question. And these sort of protests that I see, I just see people filling the street. I see a big street, like maybe 8 lanes, like 4 and 4. It's a pretty big street. If it's not that big, it seems wide to me. And it's filled to the edges with these people walking down the street. And I've been seeing that for a while. And maybe that's a metaphor, but it definitely indicates that Australians are ready for the people to be heard. They just don't feel like their voice is being heard. And I think it's going to come at the government from all sides. So, and I think that's going to be helpful. I think that's going to help your country. I think it's always good for people to have a voice. So thank you for your question. Melissa Knight says, do I see Ivana T as having been unalived by those involved with her ex-DT and him being aware of this? I have talked about this before, Melissa. I do see that. Listen, she fell downstairs. She didn't hit her elbow. She didn't break her neck. She didn't hit her head. When you fall down, what do you hit? Bones. Bones protect us. That's the first thing that hits the ground. And especially on stairs. So you've got things that stick up, stairs stick up. So you have you would think that you would hit a stair tread and have some sort of, bone break. Instead, she had internal injuries. Like, if she fell down the steps and there was a big blunt object in the middle of the steps and hit that first, it makes sense. Happened to just go right into her, stomach and not into her ribs. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Number one. Number two, the guides have told me. And number three, Ivana, for some reason, keeps visiting me. I don't typically talk to dead famous people except for Prince. Hey, Prince. I just don't. I don't know why. It's not like I don't want to. It's just not something I do. But whenever I saw that casket being carried, Ivana popped right into my consciousness. And I was like, dang, I've seen some I'm from the South, y'all. I've seen some pretty big people carried out of a church in a casket, okay? I'm like, dang, y'all got to carry that. So anyway, Ivana was tiny. Okay, and we've already talked about how the casket's not made of gold. So what was in that casket, right? Something else was in the casket. So I do see that. Ivana sees that. Ivana's the one who told me what the very first thing she said to me was they didn't have to do it. That was what was upsetting to her, was that they didn't have to do it. She just felt like this was, I mean, this is such a weird thing to say, but you have to understand that these people allegedly exist in a culture that is MOB, and they're used to this kind of thing. I mean, this is not a new thing. This is normal, okay? But she was saying they didn't have to do it. It was a stupid killing. It was stupid. It was, so, she literally talked to me about it. She said listen, yeah, I knew stuff. She was his first honeypot. She was his first wife from a different country, from a, Eastern European bloc country. Of course, that's when the grooming started. That's when they got their hooks in the man, right? So of course, yeah, she knew things. Of course she did. But she wasn't interested in flipping or she knew how the game worked, right? How many dozens and dozens of people had been offed for less things? She knew the score. She wasn't going to do anything. So she's just irritated by it. She's still irritated by it. And and every time I talk about her, she comes and she's literally laughing about the fact that that Trump said that the casket's made of gold. That was all propaganda for his people. He loved her so much he made a casket full of gold and then put her in the back lot of a golf course. You know what I mean? Like, come on, for real? Like, anyway, hopefully that makes sense. So that is, the guides say that she was unalived, which means crossed over by those involved with her ex-DT. Yes, and he is aware of that. I did talk about this in a video a few videos ago. He got the message. He was sitting in the back of a car. He got the message that she had crossed over, and there was just a moment of awareness, like the shell cracked. And he kind of, like had a human reaction for once to something. And as I'm looking at it now, actually, I think his human reaction was, that was close to home. Like like it made him feel like he was at risk. Okay. Of course, everything goes back to him. But then the shell, comes back and he's like, nods his head, like, message received, right? I know, Melissa, that other psychics see it was an accident with no foul play involved. I'm zigging left and they're zigging right. What can I say? Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm a medium. I'm just telling you what Ivana has told me. And I don't know what to say. I don't listen to other psychics or other people on YouTube because I don't want to be influenced by what they say. I have a lot of respect for every single person on YouTube that does this work. The utmost amount of respect for them. It takes a lot to get out here in front of thousands of people or hundreds of people, it doesn't matter, and say what you're getting from the cards, from your guides, whatever. It takes a lot of ovaries or cojones to do that. I have utmost respect for them. So I don't watch them because I don't want to have my ego brain start thinking, yeah, but this person said this. So I don't know what they say. All I know is what I'm getting. And who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Did I had already answered this question, Melissa? It looks like I did. And I'm sorry if I already answered this question in my last video. It might have gotten copied in the wrong place. Sorry about that. Robin E. says, Stephen Hoffenberg, a longtime associate of Epstein, was found dead on Tuesday. It sounds like he was there for a while, still working on COD. I guess COD is a video game, you guys. Was his death accidental, natural, or was he helped along due to his Epstein connection? He was helped along. I like the way you put that. That helps the guides say things that are a little sensitive. He was helped along, is what they're telling me, dear. It wasn't natural. He wasn't ready to go. Did you just see me take a big sigh and release? That's me releasing energy. When I went into this energy, he wasn't ready to go. I'm telling you. That's what I get. He wasn't ready to go. Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Hoffenberg. May you rest in peace. Okay, Ron Brock says, sorry, Ron, I think I already answered your question. I think my questions have gotten mixed up. But his question was that he knows that I've discussed the trap being sprung. Are we coming up on the second trap? And do I see the chances of us holding the House and increasing our presence in the Senate still on track? Yes, we did answer this in the last, because I remember the vibrations. Yes. So watch the first video for the answer to that. But yes, I'll just say that yes, our chances of taking the Senate and the House are stronger than ever. It's really gaining steam, and I don't think anything is going to derail it. I don't see anything energetically that could derail this. There is an energy that's underground. It's a groundswell that's growing, and it has nothing to do with, it really doesn't have anything to do with Biden or our senators or Jan 6. It just has to do with people being mad and wanting to. It has a lot to do with Roe v. Wade and a lot to do with women and young people. They're going to exact a price for that, for those laws. They're going to exact a price. Okay. Thank you for your question. I.L. Shamp, I'm not sure if I have that right, says, where are we regarding the 100 arrows, 5 hit, 3 take him down timeline? Have any of the 3 that take him, he shall not be named hit as of today. Okay, so what this person is referring to is, for many, many, many months, the guides have said, in hopes of helping us understand that our expectations need to be adjusted, meaning that it's not likely that the former guy, 45, is going to go down for these egregious violations of our laws. He should go down for those things, but it's not likely. So the guides have been saying for months and months and months, this scenario. Imagine 100 archers. 100 archers. They're all pointing at 45. They release their arrows. 95 miss. So the reason they told us that is get used to it. There's going to be 95 things that this guy does that should be that are illegal and should put him in some sort of judicial jeopardy or in prison, and they miss. 5 or 4 hit their mark. 3 take him out. That's what they've been telling me. Okay, 3 will hit him. 3 will find their mark. 3 will take him out. So this question is, where are we in that timeline? Have the 3 hit him yet? Gosh, such a great question. Yeah. They have. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Wow. So I'm very clairvoyant, which means that I'm very visual. I'm a very visual person in general. I think in pictures. I see in pictures. I can visualize things. So they were just showing me pictures of And I don't want to be too, you know, visceral or whatever here, but I mean, this is where the arrows are. The first one was, I mean, they want to call it a flesh wound, but, you know, if you don't treat it, infection could set in. I'm just being wishful thinking. That's so wrong. So wrong, Susan. Anyway, okay. Right. Okay, so I was asking them, like, how does this match with the trap? The other thing they showed me was there was a trap that's been set for him. There's trap number 1 and then trap number 2. Trap number 1 basically locks him down. It keeps him from absconding. It keeps him from running to another country and making our lives really, really beyond embarrassing and terrible, because now we're just like some of those despot countries where our ex-leader runs to another country and tries to get asylum there. I mean, that's not how America usually works, right? We're usually the gold standard of elections and all of that stuff, even if it really isn't true, at least on the surface. This is what we portray to the world. So we don't really want our ex-president to run to another country and try to seek asylum there. That would be really bad for us. It would give all of our enemies propaganda for decades and decades and decades forever. America at all costs must look strong. America at all costs must look united. United States of America, right? So even if it is just a show, even if it is not really reality, we must at all costs keep that persona up, okay? So having said that, it's more important to them that we do that than it is for us to do anything else. So the first arrow that's here corresponds with the first trap. It's meant to hold him in place. Okay? So the first arrow has struck. The first arrow has struck. Again, that's not gonna take him out. But it does, it is a wound. Okay? And if you think about a guy who's Teflon, who's slick, nothing sticks, everything falls off of him. This is the man that said that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. This is the man who said, grab them by the pee. This man has gotten away with everything. He's gotten away with more things than any other president in our history. But yet, one arrow has penetrated that shield. And it's stuck. Oh, I'm pointing in my heart. Hello. Dang, they went for a heart shot. Okay, well, go on with your bad self. Okay, so one arrow has struck him, and it's stuck there. Stuck. It's not coming out. He can't pull it out. It's there. So yes, one arrow has stuck. Okay, you heard it here. The second arrow is going to be here, like in his sternum area. I don't know why. But the third arrow I thought was really interesting. The first arrow was in his heart. I don't know. There's significance to this, but I don't understand it. You would think this would be the kill shot. I mean, I'm not trying to be gross or violent or anything like that. I have to describe it the way I'm seeing it. You would think this would be the most vulnerable place for someone to get a little arrow in their little fat bloated body. But I don't know. This is the first arrow. The second arrow's here. Don't know. The third arrow makes sense for me. The third arrow, they're aiming for here. Now, what did we say in the last video? They said he will be placed in a room, in a hotel. I mean, it's not a hotel. It feels like a hotel to me in the sense that it's nondescript, that it's not personal. There's no personalization. It's really house arrest that he's in, to be honest with you. And they had said that they take away all his forms of communication. Remember that? He can't tweet. He can't see a newspaper. He can't get on the internet. He does not have a cell phone. He has absolutely no way to communicate out. He didn't even have a window. Remember? Well, how interesting that the third arrow goes for here. It shuts down his ability to communicate. It shuts down his ability to lead an insurrection, to lead people to do things against the United States of America. So that's really interesting. I still don't understand this one for some reason other than it secures him. All they're saying is that, I don't know. I don't understand, because there's a bone here. I'm like trying to help the guides. I'm like, y'all don't want to hit him here. There's a bone. Look, I don't know. They know what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe y'all can help me understand why this. I don't get it. But I get this. I don't know why this is first. But that's what they're saying to me. If we're going to use the analogy of the three arrows, then that is how they would describe that. That's how they would help me understand. Since we're using the analogy of arrows, this is how they would help me understand that. That was really interesting to me. I'm surprised by the things the guides say. I don't know what they're going to say. It's all about asking the question. Okay, maybe one or two more questions. Claire Beaumont says, will the Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, while the Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, did Steve Mnuchin do anything illegal to undermine the U.S. resources? Allegedly, yes. I can't go there, but yes, he did, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Also, is there any connection between his position or access to the U.S. Treasury and the billions he got from Saudi Arabia? I think I talked about this in the last video briefly. Is there any connection between his position or access to the U.S. Treasury and the billions? Treasury. The guides want to say not exactly the Treasury, okay? There is a connection between his position and the billions that he got from Saudi Arabia, allegedly. But the Treasury part, they got a problem with. So there might be a little connection to the Treasury, but it's something else. It's something connected to the Treasury, but it's not exactly the Treasury. It's not exactly the Treasury. So yes and no, if that makes sense. Thank you for your question, Claire. Sylvia Hanks says, she was wondering if we'll get a stimulus check before November, and will it be for $2,000? I don't see that. I'm one of those, I guess, psychics, one of the few ones that don't see a stimulus check. If we're going to get a stimulus check, it's going to come like this. It's going to be in the form of a tax rebate or some sort of rebate. Child care rebate, tax rebate, COVID rebate, like how Biden did the payback of the student loans. The guide said from the very beginning he's only going to do 10 to 25,000. They've been saying that for months. I never saw him doing a complete, forgiveness of everybody's student loans. I never saw that. That's just not in his wheelhouse. And then with this, I don't see them giving everybody $2,000. You guys, our problem is that some Americans have too much money and they're spending it and they don't care about the higher prices. They're just going to the store and buying whatever they want. And because if Americans stop paying these higher prices, these companies would stop gouging us. Supply and demand. So far, Americans are paying the prices. Okay? We're finding the money somewhere. Even the poor Americans are still basically paying their cell phone. I mean, they're basically, they may be hurting. They may be cutting back, but not enough to cause these companies to adjust their prices. The companies are not feeling consumer angst yet. They're just not. I wish they were. Until that happens, there's too much money flowing in America. And I know a lot of you guys and a lot of my viewers live on fixed incomes. And obviously, this isn't you. But you have to admit that if these companies are still gouging people, then that means people are still paying the prices. And if the government gave everybody $2,000, it would create more inflation. So I don't see that happening. Now, can I see Biden giving everybody that's on Social Security an additional $500 or $1,000? Yeah, I could see that happening. I could see Biden giving everybody that's on Medicaid an additional $500. Yeah. Biden, it would have to be surgical. It would have to be pointed to people that need the money. We can't give $2,000 to people that already have money in the bank. That's going to hurt our economy in the sense that people are going to keep spending like wild and the prices are going to stay high until we stop buying these products and just stop. You know, that's what's happening with the housing market. People have stopped buying houses. Now the prices are coming down. Gas prices are coming down artificially because Biden made a deal with Saudi Arabia. So this is what's going on with the 2000. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. Let's bring it on. But I think Biden, it's just like he did with the student loans. Surgical. He went for the people that have Pell Grants. Those are people that are economically disadvantaged because you have to be economically disadvantaged to get a Pell Grant. Now, what it does do is it screws the middle class over and over again, right? It really does, because the middle class are the ones that's really struggling here. They're the ones that didn't get the Pell Grant and had to get the predatory loan. And they're the ones that aren't getting the help. It's the middle class is getting screwed. I agree with that. But and that $2,000 would help them for sure. But I don't see it happening. I don't know how else to say that. And maybe I'm going to be wrong. I can be wrong. I could translate this information, or the energy could change. But right now, that's what I see. Patty Feeney says, will Bill Barr face any consequences for misrepresenting the Mueller report? Allegedly, Bill Barr is going to face consequences for some other things. I've said this before, when I go into his energy, he's a mastermind. He's a legal mastermind in the sense that he knows every loophole. Even if it's the size of an eye of a needle, that man is going to try to push his big old body through there. He knows every loophole. So he's gotten out of a lot of hot water. But there are some things, and I want to say 2 things. You might hear that he has 2 charges that are coming up for him. But I don't think it's misrepresenting the Mueller report. Again, I know that these things should be crimes, I know that we want them to be crimes, but the guides have always said we have to go for things on the books. And it's the same thing with 45. We have to go with the IRS. We have to go with something on the book, something black and white. And also, hopefully, not something that is. I know that he's taken state secrets, and I don't know that they're going to be able to get him on that. What they really want is to have those 2 arrows hit him and have him make a plea deal. They want to tell him, we will, ruin your presidency. We'll make you a illegitimate president. We'll strike 45 from the history books. Really hurt him. Just imagine, if you will, what it's going to take for someone of that kind of ego to be able to say, yes, I will wear an ankle monitor and I will stay in these 4 rooms. Think about it. I'll tell you what's going to make him do that. His own safety. His own safety. Because when I was talking, I heard the words, we will unalive you. Unalive you. This is the new term people use, unalive, for crossing over. We will send you to the pearly gates. That's what I heard when I was talking. So for his own safety, he would be safer in this little mini mansion with all the Big Macs he can eat and the shakes he can drink and the Diet Cokes he can drink and the French fries he can eat. He would be safer and happier in that. That's what's going to drive him to work with the feds. And here we are at the very end of the video. That's the bombshell. That's the bombshell for me. That now it makes sense. I didn't understand how we're going to get this guy with this insane ego to work with us. He has no reason. It's like, if the United States isn't willing to drag him in front of a court and put him in leg chains and handcuffs, then, and he knows they're not going to. You want to know why? Because it would be civil war. His popularity is waning, but it doesn't matter. All it takes is 20,000 or 50 or 75,000 American nut jobs to become activated, to become an insurgency, to cause and wreak havoc in our United States of America. And to be honest with you guys, I saw this on a timeline last year. I saw this, and I've got videos where I say America could experience something like Northern Ireland experienced with the IRA, where there were BOMBSs that blew up and things that happened and people that unalived. There was an insurgency. And I've got corroboration about this because one of my clients is very high up in national security and international security, and they said that was exactly what at that time the Biden administration was worried about. So there is a real threat here that the United States has to take seriously. They can't just drag this guy into a court of law and have the entire United States of America break out into a mini civil war. So to avoid that, the DOJ uses 45 as bait. They basically put him on a hook and dangle him in front of Putin and say, ha ha, we've got something that could take you out. And it's right here in this little piece of bait called 45. Remember that I said that somebody was blackmailing 45, and I said it was another country? This is it. This is how it all goes down. The threats of violence. Remember this is all making sense to me now. Remember when I said that Trump was sitting in the back of the car and he had this acknowledgement of, oh, like that was close to me. That was close to home. Y'all figuring this out? Y'all putting these dots together? Because I am. They took her out to show him, we're real close to you. We're real close to you. Who else you want us to take out to prove that you're next? Do you want me to take out somebody else in your family? Because we will. We're not playing. Right? I've always known that when 45 is not useful anymore, that they would take him out. The guides used to show it to me like this. The guides showed me 45 being a balloon, which is really interesting, right? Inflated, full of hot air, right? Makes sense. So they showed me him being a balloon. And when he's not needed anymore, he deflates. They take his air out. They deflate him. I have said this on videos last year. So it all makes sense. Now it's all kind of coming together for me. The way that they're going to get 45 to cooperate and step down and put the tape over his mouth, the arrow right here in his throat chakra, is his own safety. It's for his own good that he does this. He'll do it to save his own skin, folks. That's the only reason he'll do it. And he's only going to do it when it becomes evident that he is at risk, that he is at risk. I'll leave it at that. To me, that all makes sense. Now, I don't know, because I'm channeling this. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but in my mind, now I get how this is all going to go down. And I would say that it goes down, right. Well, the second trap, they said there was a trap that's going to be started. It's going to, come together in September. And the second trap is going to come together in December. Remember how I was asking for my birthday for a surprise? Remember, you guys, if you guys are new, I'm going to shoot this off when one of these people go to prison or go to the pearly gates. I don't care. But my birthday's coming up. And I got a 5. My dogs are looking at me like she has lost her mind. Don't look at me like that, Ellie. Anyway, I got a 5. 15, the 5th, the 15th. Anyway, September, you guys. Keep your eyes peeled for September. Trap number 1. All trap number 1 does is keep him in place. It does not really take him out. Trap number 2 in December catches him, but then we have some time, okay? It's not like he goes into his house arrest in December, because he is going to fight it. He's a fish on a hook. He can't get off the hook. So he is going to fight it. But while he's fighting it, he starts throwing things around like, I know things, I can tell you things, right? That's when he gets sloppy. He starts, he said, oh, shoot, I'm like dead to rights here. Then he starts telling them, I know things. Well, that's when he becomes a threat, right? And then, again, and I'm telling you right now, for real, there are parts of our administration, and I'm kind of thinking Dark Brandon right now, but anyway, there are parts of our administration that would just as soon have him be taken out. Do you understand what I'm saying when I'm saying taken out? Unalived. There are parts of our administration just as happy to have him taken out. Solve my problem. Don't got to deal with that. I see Papa, Uncle Joe going, all right, well, that was easy. Thank you. But we can't do it. We can't do it. We can't let that happen again, because we can't be having one of our ex-presidents, taken out like that. It doesn't look good. I know, but it doesn't look good. So that's when Biden's like, dang, all right, fine. Put him in the Hoosgow, put him in, lock him up in this. We'll create a house arrest situation to protect him. And I'm telling you, that thing will be protected. And not that he wants to get out, because believe you me, he doesn't want to get out. He's terrified. That man is terrified. There will be black ops on the roof of that building because we cannot have him abducted, kidnapped. You know what I'm talking about? Like this, done like this, and then found, in an alley somewhere. We can't have that. We're talking World War III if that happens, okay? So this guy has caused us more problems than even we know, because now we've got to protect him, spend a bunch of money protecting him because it would start World War III if something happened to him. Because we have to protect our honor, even if he is a criminal, allegedly. We cannot let a president of the United States have that kind of ending. We can't. So, wow, I think this has been fascinating. 1 hour and 25, or I don't know how many minutes, but the last 10 minutes was worth it for me. Please let me know in the comments, because I'm connecting the dots right now because I'm connected to the guides, but when I disconnect from them, I think my brain is going to be mush. And I want to make sure this makes sense to you guys, like it does to me right now. So let me know in the comments what you think. Listen, if you truly have spent an hour and almost a half of your free time with me, I want you to know that I genuinely appreciate your dedication, your support. I really do. I don't know what else to say. I never saw myself doing this. I still can't believe I'm doing this. This is crazy. I don't know how I got here. I'm in an alternate universe. I don't know what happened. But anyway, here I am, and I'm grateful to you. And I'm sending you love and light. Take really good care of yourself. If you watch this in 5 parts, thank you. I appreciate you for coming back to it, because I think this last part was worth watching. And I really appreciate you dedicating your free time to me. You guys take really, really good care. And you know what? Like, get the popcorn. Get the popcorn, you guys. September is going to be big, but it's going to be followed by even bigger things. This whole fall is going to be one opportunity after another of outdoing themselves, of news and more news and more news and more news. It's just going to be amazing. Thank you guys. Take really good care. We'll see you again right here on this channel next time. Bye.